All right, last step that we're going to do today is we are going to talk a little bit about adding music. And unfortunately, I have some bad news here, that our sound effect importer is a little bit wonky due to some last minute updates that we had done. Fear not, we know what the problem is. Unfortunately, Josh is out of town, so he can't patch the update for me right now. But probably in the next couple of days, we'll do a patch and a quick demonstration of how to play sound effects. For now, though, I want to get the beta out to you guys. I don't want to wait any longer. So we're going to just get the songs rocking. I'm opening FamiTracker, and I was going to do a full tutorial on FamiTracker, but it'd be like an hour-long tutorial. There's better ones already on YouTube. This isn't a FamiTracker video. It's about NESmaker. So I went ahead and already created some music for this little silly game. I just took a little simple melody. This is sort of the intro screen version of the melody, a little bit slower and legato. Kind of a march almost. Okay, and that's one song, and I made a second song. This is the gameplay version. Same melody, but now it's upbeat and kind of song that makes you want to fight monsters. And then the end song, which is just a very mellow, happier version. So really stupid stuff I just slammed together real quick. I also made a die sound effect, which would be great for our spinning and then exploding thing. And then winning sound effect, which is just... Now, unfortunately, again, I can't get the sound effects in today, but we'll get those in this week. The things I want you to know is when you do start learning FamiTracker and you do start making tunes and songs and things like this and instruments, make sure that you're naming your songs without using numbers or any weird symbols. I use camel case. You could also use underscores if you want, but for the name, like this is start song, main song, end song, the first letter is capitalized of each word instead of spaces. And sound effects need to start with SFX underscore. All right, so all the sound effects need to start with lowercase sfx underscore. Songs do not. Lastly, about naming, if by chance you happen to get an error message when you're compiling your game that says something about a label already being defined and it says something about the songs and sound effects, it means that one of these names is a label that's in the song, which is totally, or is already in the game, which is totally possible. For instance, if you use intro song, which seems like a common enough name, I already have a variable called intro song in the engine, which is my stupid fault. I need to change that. So it'll throw up an error, but you know, that's why I just put start song. Just in case you see that, I'll be fixing that too, just to make those a little bit less common, likely for you to actually create that kind of problem. Anyway, once you have your song done, you're going to file, export text, and this is the file that we need. You can put it anywhere, you can call it anything, it doesn't matter. The tool is going to do its magic. Right now there's an empty song and an empty sound effects in there. I'm going to right click on sound and import FamiTracker text, and now I'm going to navigate to where that is, which is in my folder here, and inside beta assets, inside music, and I'm going to load this file. And now I've got 3 songs, 2 sound effects. Our playback engine isn't perfect. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect, but it's definitely good enough for you to sort of spot check and make sure that these songs are loaded in. This is that first song. This is that second song. This is the end song. So I'm definitely sure that I got the right songs in, and now I can start putting them into the right places. I'm going to put them into the special screens first. It's super simple to put them in special screens. This one's already ready to go because by default it chose value 0, which is start song. Don't use stop music or no change right now. Right now they point to rogue values and will just give you a bunch of noise and maybe do all kinds of things to the game. We're just going to stay away from that. We're going to use start song for the start screen, and we're going to use win song or end song for the win screen. And then for the main gameplay screens, just open up the screen and go to screen info, and you can set the song number. Now, eventually this is going to have the actual names that it correlates to, but for right now, 0, 1, 2, we're going to set them to 1. And hit OK. And I have to do that for every screen. And what's nice is if it's the same number, it'll continue on with that song and it won't start from the beginning. If you put a different number there, like if I had boss music that played when I entered the boss room, it would start over again. And then when I left the boss room, it would start that screen's music again. So if these numbers are different from screen to screen, it'll start from scratch. But if they continue with the same number, it'll just be fluid, like the soundtrack's just continuing on. All right, so now that's all. We have the songs into the game, and so when I go into the game, it's going to play that start screen song, and then when I press start, it's going to play that main gameplay song, and then if I get to the ending here, it's going to play the win song. And again, I apologize about the sound effects, but we'll get to that this week. So export and test, and there's that start screen song. Oops, I also right. I have to tell my guy that I want to start on this screen, don't I? Place player and export and test. There we go. Oop, there's my boss. I think I never set that last screen there. I never did. So if I did, I'll play that one more time. And you saw how it changed to the other song, and that might be good. You know, you get past the boss and it plays a mellower song. I could have also put a boss song in that boss's room, and you can see how easy I could do that. Lastly, I'm going to set a way to restart the game when I'm on the win screen so that I'm not stuck there indefinitely until I hit the reset button. And that's easy enough. I'm going to go to my code script, and I'm going to look for a script called Simple Reset. And all that is a code that just literally says jump to the reset. And I'm going to go to my input editor, and when I'm on the win screen, a null object, it does have to set to an object, I'm going to run simple reset, but not when I press it, when I release it. That way, when the game cycles around again, it's not reading a button press, which it might do. So when I release it, now I'll have to let go of the start button. I have to let go of a start button, and I'm going to add this script. And then that will restart the game again. Let's test that one more time, and then we'll call it a night. Keep going. All right, get past my boss. Get to the cartridge. Yay! I win. And now you can see I'm pressing the start button down in the corner here. Down here you can see I'm pressing it, and when I let it go, I restart the game. So just like that, I mean, I could go back in and I could spend a lot of time cleaning up these screens, blocking myself in, building mazes and paths and warping all over the place. And, you know, I could now build a pretty dynamic, long game. That would be pretty simple. The monsters wouldn't be all that interesting or whatever, but I could start building a cool little adventure, or a little maze, at least a virtual maze, and whatever. And based on just what we've input here, and I can make a lot more songs and music for different areas, and I can make a lot of different tile sets to suggest different areas. So already, with even just where it is right now in the beta, and how the engine is right now, there's a lot that you could do. And I know there's a couple bugs and a couple things to tweak, and there's going to be, it's the NES, it's, you know, it's very complex to program for, even when you're not trying to make what you see is what you get kind of tool, which of course we are. But yeah, so there's a quick tutorial that gets us from nothing at all, zero, no graphics, no nothing, all the way to a playable game that you can win, that you can lose. It's got music and collisions and monsters and different screens and a boss and all kinds of stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that, and we are going to be adding more ideas for you to play with, more code, more scripts and tile types and things like that you can add to your beta and edit and show you more cool tricks as we go. But I'm going to finish this tutorial series off now so I can get this out and into your hands, and I really hope you have a good time playing around with the first official beta.